we could be alone between city lights. We don't have to hide. I wanna go, do you wanna follow? There's something in the air, I can't explain it, but it's there. Ain't nobody gonna find us in our secret love affair. I don't wanna have to hide no more, it shouldn't be unfair. I wanna go, and I wanna know, do you wanna follow? Baby, do you wanna follow? Come with me, do you wanna follow? Baby, can't you see that? I wanna go, and I wanna know, do you wanna follow? Baby, do you wanna follow? Come with me, do you wanna follow? Baby, can't you see that? I wanna go, and I wanna know, do you wanna follow? I can't understand why we can't hold hands, but they don't know what we have is real love. Aren't you sick and tired of having to hide? I know a place, do you wanna follow? There's something in the air, I can't explain it, but it's there. Ain't nobody gonna find us in our secret love affair. I don't wanna have to hide no more, it shouldn't be unfair. I wanna go, and I wanna know, do you wanna follow? Baby, do you wanna follow? Come with me, do you wanna follow? Baby, can't you see that? I wanna go, and I wanna know, do you wanna follow? Do you wanna follow? Baby, do you wanna follow? Come with me, do you wanna follow? Baby, can't you see that? I wanna go, and I wanna know, do you wanna follow?
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the live stream. It's so good to be back here with you after a beautiful Christmas day. Hope you forgive me for taking yesterday off to spend Christmas with my family. Of course you're okay. Of course you're okay with that. Oh, it was beautiful. It was beautiful, except it was cold as hell. I wish I could tell you. Oh yeah, I was out there ripping bowls. It was what was it? It was like 20 degrees, 10 degrees Fahrenheit. It was 8 or 10 degrees Fahrenheit is the coldest I remember it being. This is the American stream. The Monday night stream is the American stream. The afternoon stream is for people in Europe. So we are going to use Fahrenheit. It was 10 degrees here. The day before Christmas, my neighbor's, the water supply line to her trailer froze up. And so I spent a lot of that day underneath her trailer trying to install a heating wire to thaw it out. We did accomplish that. Good to know. Good to tell you. Just generally had a fantastic Christmas. Good time with the family and so forth. I hope all your Christmas dreams came true if you celebrated Christmas or whatever holiday you celebrated. If you didn't celebrate a holiday, I hope you had a nice weekend. And just today it snowed. It snowed. So it's been a crazy couple of weeks, couple of days. It's been a couple of days. We've been burning the shit out of the wood stove the whole time. Burning the shit out of the wood stove the whole time, I assure you. We're finally going to get a low above freezing on Friday. still, Wednesday's going to be not a bad day. Not a bad day. Tomorrow's going to be a pretty good day. Maybe I'll fly tomorrow. A high of 42. I can fly when it's 42 out. I can do it. I can do it. Welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Pacific Northwest pilots, still no Goggles 2 or Boxer radio. Hey, have those Radio Master Ranger modules shipped yet? Everybody still got those on pre-order? I haven't gotten my gosh darn Caddx Walk Snail VRX yet. They haven't shipped it. I had to borrow. Thank you so much to the person who's graciously loaning me theirs. I'll put out a call on my Discord server saying, "Hey, can anybody loan me their VRX module so I can?" I have to say, we have to. I know that some people are gonna find this to be a controversial thing to say, but we have to give the people over in China a little bit of slack right now. They're just getting completely. I want to say a word that is not family friendly, so I won't, because I try to keep these streams mostly family friendly. They're getting just completely tore up by COVID over there. The people I don't know any specific person's situation, but like so many of them are sick. So if stuff's taking a little bit longer to ship, I mean, it sucks if you're waiting for your shit to come, obviously. Here's what we're going to do. Here's what we're doing. Welcome to the stream. By the way, if it's your first stream, hey, somebody out there, if you got an FPV drone for Christmas, and now you're like, hey, what's this Bardwell thing? Say hello in the chat. There you know. Say hello in the chat. Or if it's your first stream for any reason, say hello in the chat. It's good to have you here. Here's what we do. I answer your questions. I take like 2 hours. I answer your questions. Hopefully we have a good time. I'm going to answer your questions here in the YouTube chat. If you want to make absolutely sure I read your question, the way to do it is to hit the $sign down here and leave a super chat. Throw a couple bucks at me. I'll read those a little later. No new super chats yet. So you still have a chance to be the very first super chat. Ooh. There's no real prestige involved in that. The only prestige is in extremely large super chats. Oh, such a good person. And of course, over here on the right side of the screen, I will be taking questions from, oh yeah, Bob's Burgers. What the F? The Willem Dafoe Forrest Gump, it really freaks me out, but okay. I will be taking some of their questions as well and reading their comments. So, that's what's going on. And we're going to start with this question from way back at the beginning of the stream. Oh, there's a couple super chats. Psych Limbo, thank you. Jose Hernandez, thank you for a $10 super chat. Psych Limbo, thank you for a $2 super chat. Well done. Thank you, guys. I wish I could have only the super chats auto pop up. Auto feature chat messages as they come in. Can I do that? Maybe it's over here in the options. I swear there's a streaming options. Hold on. I don't see that as an option. Nope. Behavior and functions. Oh, here we go. Nope. Nope. Alrighty, well, never mind then. Wait, is that how it works automatically? No. Okay. There was a question earlier from Carrie Miller. Way back at the beginning of the stream. JB, you like the old goggles better with a Vista or new goggles? That's a tough one, Carrie. That's a really tough one. The new goggles, too, for me, are more comfortable because they're lighter and they could use a better face foam, I do admit. But I don't find them bad to use. I like the fact that they have adjustable optics for my glasses, which of course not everybody's going to have that situation, but and I love the OLED screens. I still mostly fly the V2 goggles because I want to keep up to date with what's going on with WTFOS. And if I switched to the goggles 2, of course, they don't have routing in WTFOS. So most of my Vistas I'm currently running with the V2 goggles. But I think if I didn't, if I had to pick just one forever, I'd probably go with the new goggles too. However, I have to say, some people have had a real problem with the sort of fit on those goggles, and they're much more sort of put out by the way they fit their face than I am. And so other people may disagree with that. There we go. That's what we're going to do. We're going to take questions just like that. Ace FPV wants to know, what would you say would be the best budget walk snail build you'd recommend? So Ace FPV, here's the beautiful thing. You don't need a budget walk snail build. Like, I'm assuming you're asking about a 5-inch. I'm assuming you're asking about a 5-inch, right? So at that point, we can just go freestyle FPV drone for under $200. Is it even possible? Hang on. I like the way this looks better. Freestyle drone for under $200 isn't even possible. Boom. Right? Here we are. Now you take that exact drone and you put a walk snail video transmitter on it and you have a budget walk snail build. The video transmitter and the camera are the easiest darn thing to swap out. Have I copped out on your question, or is that too easy? That's what I would say, Ace. Let me post a link to that. No, we're not going to watch an ad. Oh, no, actually, I love those ads. Oh, I won't get it back. I won't get the same ad again, will I? No. No, I won't. I'm not going to chase that ad down, but I would. I would have watched that ad if I'd have seen which ad it actually was. Continuing on. We're just going to keep rocking and rolling, answering questions. I saw another question in the Discord server. Hello, Can't Fly FPV. Very glad you're here catching the stream live. Good to see you, sir. Or ma'am. Or none of the above. I'm not particular. Mr. Eddie Nunez. Mr. Eddie Nunez, that's not a real question. I declined that question. Sorry. I was like, oh, what's Eddie want to know? And then I was like, oh, that's a trolling question. Let's see here. Okay, here we go. Oh, we got a bunch of super chats coming in. I will just take a couple more questions from the regular chat before we do that. Don't worry, I won't forget you. Is the current version of Betaflight available as a Chrome app? Asks Joseph O'Brien. My computer was hacked and disabled. I was hoping I could use a Chromebook. It is not. They stopped distributing it as a Chrome app a while back. I don't remember the exact reasoning. I think that Google changed how they support Chrome apps except on Chromebooks, and the Betaflight devs did not support it. The answer though is no. You can't get it as a Chrome app. You need a Windows or Mac laptop. Your computer was hacked and disabled. Oh, you mean like a crypto? You got your whole hard drive encrypted or some shit. Ouch. That's my guess. You're locked out. That sucks. What I would recommend you do is, do you have an Android phone by any chance? If you have an Android phone, download the SpeedyBee app, or you can also download, there's a version of Betaflight Configurator, but it's not on the App Store. You have to sideload it, which requires a PC, so skip that. But download the SpeedyBee app, and you could do it with your phone. A lot of modern phones, if you just have a USB-C and a USB-C cable, it will just plug into your flight controller and you'll be able to use the SpeedyBee app with it. So that would be my workaround for you. Sorry for your loss on that computer. Sucks, man. Let's see here. I mean, if you got, my opinion is, if you got, your hard drive got encrypted by some ransomware, probably the thing to do is just pay the ransom. Now, I mean, probably the thing to do is to take that backup of your hard drive that you totally have and just restore the backup and say to the guys. But I'm assuming that, like, that's not what the situation we're in. So if you're just completely locked out of your computer, my understanding is that most of the time, if you just pay the ransom, they unlock your data and you're good as new. Because, like, their whole goal is to make money. So if you paid the ransom and they didn't unlock your hard drive, then word would get out and people wouldn't pay the money. They just want your money. And I don't know, what the current price for ransomware is, but my understanding from what I've seen in the past is it's usually not like a preposterous amount of money. It's a shitty amount of money. It's like $50, $75, $100, which, like, that hurts to pay $100 to some scammer who infected your computer and locked you out of it. But you go, okay, what's my alternative? Do I buy a new hard drive? That's going to cost me $100. I'm going to have to rebuild my whole hard drive, lose all my data. So you go, okay, F it. I'm going to pay the $100. I'm going to unlock my data, and then I'm going to get a better virus scanner or whatever. So, just if you consider just paying them, I guess would be my advice. All right, a little bit of non-FPV advice. Aethix wants to know, should we give FrSky a break or a chance? That's the next question I'm going to do, and then we're going to go and we're going to read Super Chats. Why would you ask that, Aethix? Why would you be asking about FrSky? Well, some more FrSky BS going on. Hang on, let me find this. Oh my goodness gracious. FrSky, what are you doing? We last saw FrSky when Steve Schlesinger was going around arguing with ExpressLRS devs and just generally, I'm not even gonna, just talking on the ExpressLRS Facebook group. And now Wesley Vardy, who is an ExpressLRS developer and beard aficionado, made this statement. In October of this year, Steve Schlesinger, a representative of FrSky, made a confused post here in the group promoting the company's new ETH-OS handsets and their upcoming Twin Light product. At the time, it was unclear what FrSky's plans for the transmitter, but it seemed like they were planning on releasing a transmitter with a closed-source fork of ExpressLRS onboard, which would be incapable of being updated or supported from the mainline ELRS code and configurator and would therefore be stuck on version 2.3. The ELRS development team reached out to FrSky to see if they would be interested in supporting ELRS properly on their hardware, as many other manufacturers do. FrSky's engineering team indicated they would discuss it and get back, but communications ended there. Now the Twin Light Pro has hit the market. Oops, hang on, there you go. Now the Twin Light Pro has hit the market and is being reviewed by various sources. It's evident that FrSky has ignored requests or advice to properly integrate ELRS, and as of right now, the transmitter is running a closed fork of ELRS, which is a violation of the GPL license on our open source code. The version is locked to 2.x and will be unable to bind with receivers on the 3.x versions. Consumers will also not be able to flash their bind phrase to the transmitter, which means you're stuck with manual binding. The whole 3x power cycle thing. Basically a very unpleasant user experience. I suppose FrSky could put... FrSky probably intends to release their own receivers with a bind button. So, okay. It goes on. Well, but surprise, surprise, FrSky has done something that's bad for, let's just say worse for their customers. Worse for their customers. Like FrSky, I have to imagine that their mindset is that they are stuck in their own ecosystem. So why would you need to flash ExpressLRS firmware? You've bought a FrSky radio, and you're going to get a FrSky receiver. And why would you want to bind to third-party non-FrSky receivers running ExpressLRS? That doesn't make any sense. So FrSky's thought is probably, why would you need to keep up with the ExpressLRS features? That sounds like a pain in the ass. FrSky is just going to give you what you need. And if that's how you feel, then this is a non-issue to you. The GPL violation, setting aside the GPL violation. But my personal opinion, and the opinion of some other people, maybe you, is that this is just a shitty thing to do. Number one, if they wanted to put ExpressLRS on it, they could have just put ExpressLRS on it, but they didn't want to do that. And I take from some of the conversations that Steve had, although this is speculation. I take it that one of the deal breakers for them was that they didn't want to release their source code because it contains things that they consider to be proprietary. But that's just how open source works. You have to do that. So if in fact they included ExpressLRS and didn't distribute source code, that's wrong. The whole point of open source and the GPL is that everybody gets to benefit. And everyone benefits, but you have to share the changes and improvements that you make if they did that. And if they didn't do that, or even if you don't care about that, the fact that they might be locking their customers at an old version of ExpressLRS instead of giving them the full benefit of it just because they want to keep them in their little ecosystem, they're making decisions that are good for their business, not decisions that are best for their customers, as they have done in the past. Nothing has changed. Sunshine FF in the Discord says, refresh my memory. Wasn't it FrSky who are whining the loudest about their protocol being used and shared? FrSky's like, everybody's reverse engineering D8 receivers and we don't like that. Everybody's reverse engineering our protocols and making third-party receivers. Stop it. And now they're going to put open source code in their radio, allegedly, potentially. So, no, I wouldn't give them a second chance. Clearly they haven't changed. So why would they get a second chance? Okay. Restriction. Your message caught my eye because you just got into FPV after watching my videos. It's very good to have you here. I bought a used drone and I've been loving it so far. Just hating the snow here in Norway. Yeah, you don't crash in the snow. You will ruin it. You will ruin it. It is true. All right, we're going to get super chats now. We're going to work our way backwards. I'm going to start with the last one and work my way backwards. So I'm not skipping you. I'm coming back to you. Okay? Cheech FPV says, anything on Betaflight 4.4 RC1 that really interests you? Yes. Yes. In fact, I just last night downloaded Betaflight Configurator 10.9 and flashed 4.4 RC on Christmas Day. Christmas Day, after my family had all gone to bed. I was like, what am I going to do? I got a little spare time. And I flashed Betaflight 4.4 to a quad. Like, I flashed it because I wanted access to the high-definition DVR. In fact, we could take a look. UAV Tech just released a video that I watched this morning. 10 new features in Betaflight 4.4. Hi, Mark. Oh, hi, Mark. Different Mark. So the high definition canvas is one of the big ones. And by the way, I should just, here's a link to Mark's video. Don't go watch it now because it's super bad for my analytics if you leave. Stay here. But there's the link to his video. Pull it up in another tab and watch it later. Oh, I'll put it in the Discord too. So, this analog OSD isn't great if you have a widescreen, high-definition screen. So Betaflight 4.4 now supports high-definition canvas. Let me see, where does he make the switch? There it is. Okay, back up. Yeah. So this is what it looks like in your screen. You have a much bigger screen. It's a widescreen 16:9. And you have a lot more room to drag stuff around without it cluttering up your screen. It's a big deal. So that's one of my favorite features. And it is also easier to set up a digital VTX. You don't have to go to the command line anymore. All of the settings are in the GUI. Very nice. GPS return to home now actually lands the quad instead of just crashing it. Haven't tested that yet, but that's exciting. And the cloud build system. In fact, we could take a look at the cloud build system right now. This is not really relevant yet today, mostly. So if I go to update firmware, and I release candidate, I'm going to choose a board, JBF7 V2. And you'll see that when I select that, I have the choice of which features I want to include. So like if I click radio protocols, I can pick which radio protocols. Oh, I'm never going to use Jetty XBus. No. iBus, sure. SBus, okay. No, SBus. Well, I was going to say FrSky, you're dead to me. But DJI uses SBus too. So, okay, we'll include that. For Fport, no. FrSky, you're dead to me. SRXL2. I can pick which protocols I want to have and leave out the ones I don't want to have. Other options. GPS, no, not going to use that. Let's see. I'm going to keep those. Yeah, okay. That's fine. LEDs, nope, don't have LEDs. We'll get rid of those. Telemetry protocols. Let's see. Nah, I'm good. And motor protocols. Well, I'm only going to be using D-Shot, so I don't need multi-shot, one-shot, pro-shot, etc. And then when I hit load firmware online, watch what it does. It compiles the firmware on a cloud server somewhere. It custom compiles me a firmware with just the options that I want. Now, who cares? This matters because Betaflight's code is getting so big that you remember when Betaflight stopped supporting F3 processors and all those flight controllers with F3 processors, they couldn't run it. You couldn't flash it. You couldn't do it anymore. You could use an old version. It got too big. And some people, like Mark Spatz, the very guy we were looking at, made a custom build of Betaflight where they left out certain features to make it smaller so it would fit. Except Mark Spatz knows how to, compile Betaflight on his home computer. I don't. I mean, it seems like a pain in the ass. I don't like compiling code if I don't have to. So what they've done is they've given you the ability to custom compile your own version of Betaflight with just the features that you want, so that in the future, when Betaflight gets too big to fit on an F7 chip or an F4 chip, you can leave out the features you don't want and shrink it back down again. And that's pretty damn cool. By the way, you can also just hit classic mode and then it just compiles the whole thing just like it always used to. Very exciting stuff. So those are some things I'm excited for in Betaflight 4.4 RC1. Let's continue our way back. Donkey FPV, thank you for £1. I don't see a question from you, Donkey. So I'm going to assume that was just a donation. Thank you for the donation. Drone Daddy FPV. Drone Daddy says, oops. Drone Daddy, your super chat has scrolled out of my window, so I can't show it. But Drone Daddy's question is, about to conformal coat my Chimera 7 Pro, how do I identify the barometer on a Blitz F722? Yeah, because you don't want to get conformal on the barometer. Well, for a $5 Canadian super chat, I suppose I can take just a minute and try to look for you. Blitz F7 22. Is this the one? Is this the Blitz F7? Blitz F7 22 E45. That's the Blitz Mini. Let's just go to iFlight's website and see if we can find this exact product. Store. FPV. Freestyle? No, those are drones. Drone parts. There we go. Their categories on their website are kind of confusing to me. Can I just... Maybe I just search for Blitz F722. Shut up. Blitz F7 stack. How about just the Blitz F7 flight controller? F7V 1.1. Is this the flight controller? We're going to go with it because I don't want to spend all night looking for this stupid flight controller, but we're going to go with this one. It's not a photo of the actual board. It's a render. Damn it. So normally what I would look for is something like this little guy with a little hole in the side. That's the key. That's the key thing I think that you're looking for. Eric Toft says their newer flight controllers use a black chip looking thing for their bars. Let's see if we can find an actual frickin' photo. So nope, none of that looks like a barometer. What about the bottom side? It's usually like a little silver thing with a hole in it. None of that looks like the barometer. That's the data flash chip. That looks like a voltage regulator. That... Oh man, I don't know. That's an oscillator. It's the right color. Where's the barometer? Does this not have a barometer on it? I think it has a barometer. Barometer DPS 310. What does a DPS 310 barometer look like? Okay, here is a barometer. This is the chip they use. It's the DPS 310 barometer. It's right here. Presumably, we're looking for that exact chip. Yeah. So you're looking for this chip, which is the chip they say they use. The key thing is it's got a little hole here. Mupshot says he thinks he sees it next to the black button. I don't know about that, Mupshot. I don't see it. Where's the damn barometer? I mean, it's got to be there. All right. I am super confused and don't... It's not that. Is it this? Is it this? Doesn't have a lot of options. Is it this? No, that doesn't say 310, DSP 310. I don't know. I don't know why. I'm super confused that I can't find it. Next to the OSD chip. Okay. I'm kind of like, I want it now. Next to the OSD chip. Oh, there. Oh, it's much smaller than I was expecting. Is that it right there? Oh, it's tiny. Are you sure? I don't see a little hole there. You think that's it? It could be. Can't read it. Alrighty, well, hopefully this has been helpful. I'm not convinced that it was, but we had a good time, didn't we? You and me. Sunshine, thank you for a $5 super chat. That doesn't look like a barometer to me, to be honest with you, but nothing looked like a barometer, so I guess I'm just going to let it slide. Sunshine, thank you for a $5 super chat. Has anybody heard about how Zoe's doing? Her last video broke my heart. Wish I was closer. I've got room for her RV. I have not seen another post. Has she posted another video? I know she was struggling to get her van, her RV moved. She posted, she was moving back into the RV. She was posting on Facebook. Her RV was busted. And then she recently posted, I give up. Oh, brutal. Brutal. That is brutal. Ouch. She made it to a safe spot and has a spot to boondock while she tries to get the mechanics of the RV sorted out. That's good. Jesus. Brutal. I'm glad she's in it. I guess that's the update. She's in a safe spot. She's got her RV parked somewhere, and she's able to try to get people working on it. Okay. Black Jungle, thank you for 5 Brazilian reais. Given the VRX and walk snail flood that's coming, how about an idea of converting from analog to walk snail, soldering, Betaflight, etc.? Thoughts? Black Jungle, I think that's an idea that would do well. I am notoriously bad at making videos that would actually be popular, and instead make like really hyper detailed tutorial videos that do terrible in the algorithm. But I mean, here I am, so I guess I can't complain. But that's a good idea for a video. Thank you for your donation. Paul Stevenson III, thank you for a $5 super chat. Happy holidays to you, sir, as well. Thanks for your help on the Nano Baby, now running Goggles 2 DJI FPV controller with Betaflight OSD. Oh, good. I solved this guy's problem. That's always a good feeling. Nicholas Fazio, thank you for a $5 super chat. Why do I need to rebind my DJI V2 goggles when I go from FPV to the air unit? Because DJI, because that's a bug. It's a bug that DJI has never fixed in 3+ years. I don't know why. It is so confusing. DJI is like, it feels in some ways like they're this all-powerful deity who can just, here's a high-definition FPV system. Hey, look, we just made it happen. We're DJI. We can do anything we want. We have $1 trillion. Okay, probably more like billions. And then you're like, DJI, please, sir, please, there's a bug. It would be so easy for you to fix it. And DJI just doesn't even like, yeah, maybe. So I have no idea. That bug has existed. I think that bug finally got fixed in the Goggles 2 in the last firmware update that made Vistas compatible with the Goggles 2. So if you don't like that bug, buy a Goggles 2, and then, oops, you can't use your DJI FPV drone anymore because it doesn't support, because the Goggles 2 don't support the DJI FPV drone yet. So, there you go. That's the answer, Nicholas. Sorry, I just not a better answer. 406 from above, thank you for a $20 super chat. Very generous, thank you. Thank you so much for that. Merry Christmas, JB. A new 5-inch build walk snail is all I'm set on and open to the best options from frame to motors, electronics, and flight controller and ESC. 406 from above, you must be new here. You must be new here, 406 from above, but that's okay. Newbies are welcome. Because the best place to find out what electronics, flight controller, ESC, etc. to get is my ultimate FPV shopping list. FPVknowitall.com. Bam! Spam the chat! I can do it because it's my stream. Shut up. FPVknowitall.com. We'll go to the 5-inch freestyle section, and here are suggested parts for a 5-inch freestyle build. The only place I would tell you to be a little careful is in the frames section. You're going to want to do a little bit of research and make sure your frame can fit the Walk-Snail video transmitter. I'm 99% sure all of these frames will, though. Now, I'm not saying that these are the only parts that are worth getting, just that these are parts that I have and just that I think are solid choices that will not let you down. By the way, why is that not working? Aw. I wanted to show you the updated live stream, but I can't remember the URL, so don't worry about it. Cool in the Woods, thank you for a $2 super chat. Can we fly in the snow, and how cold is too cold? You can fly in the snow, but if you crash in the snow and your shit is not really thoroughly waterproofed, then you are going to potentially blow an ESC or damage your electronics. So don't fly in the snow unless you're willing to risk crashing in the snow and blowing up your quad. However, how cold is too cold? The main limitation on cold is that the colder it is, the worse your batteries perform. Eventually, it's so cold your batteries just are like, and you can't fly. I've flown certainly below freezing, and the batteries do take a hit. Some people will keep their batteries in their pockets. They'll keep them in there are heated battery bags you can get that take a 3S. I think Ethics makes one that takes a 3S LiPo and it keeps the batteries warm. So you just put your batteries in the car and leave your car running or something. There's various ways to do it. But then, of course, as soon as you put the battery on the quad and start flying, it gets cold because it's in the cold air. So some people even have little blankets, little foam or bubble wrap, that silver thermal bubble wrap stuff, little stuff to keep the battery warm while they fly. These are some things that people do. But I've seen people fly down to, certainly freezing, and if your batteries are hanging in there, then you can do it. Nothing else really takes a hit in the cold, I don't think. Willpower FPV points out that the Ethics bag uses 6S, not 3S. Sorry, I misremembered that. Thank you for the correction. Thank you, Mindless FPV, for a $5 super chat and a Merry Christmas greeting. And we are almost caught up on the super chats. Yeah, Aber the Ham points out that last time I flew in the snow, I was meticulously conformal coded, but the balance leads or something must have shorted out. I've heard lots of stories from people who crash in a snowbank, pick up their quad is fine, but anytime you go into moisture, there's a chance of getting unlucky. All right, let's continue with the super chats. We've got a ton of super chats come in. Thank you guys so much for your generosity. I don't want to let these slide, so I'm going to hang off answering questions from the regular chat just to get caught up here. What is the best whoop for indoor freestyle? Asks Donkey FPV. Oh, man. What is the best whoop for indoor freestyle? I got to throw this out to the chat. I know Aaron Ciotti swears by the 28, 30,000 kV motors. Another question that that I've always had is that you see all these racers going down to 0702 motors, and I'm surprised that that 0802, it's a little heavier, but it has more torque. I'm surprised that people are choosing a smaller motor like that. That's a good point. Mad Max FPV says, whatever Nathan Loops is flying. I see a lot of votes in the chat for the Mobula 6. You can't go wrong with the Mobula 6, right? It's a solid choice. Is it the best? Happy Model Mobula 6 1S 65mm brushless whoop drone. Can I buy it? Oh, that's what he's flying. That's what Nathan Loops is flying. Or at least in this video he is. Let's see here. Where's the motors? Part specifications. Motors. So probably for indoor freestyle, 25,000 kV is what the real pros are going to recommend. that extra power. I mean, you'll get shorter battery life, but you'll need that if you can handle the extra power. If you have the skill to do it, it's going to give you a better flight experience. Analog is going to be light and give you the best performance. Let's watch this video from Nathan Loops just to appreciate what you can do here. I am not going to play the audio just to not take a chance on getting a copy strike. I think I've seen this video. He's ridiculous. Oh, it tapped the ground. He's not perfect. He's not perfect, though. Little Maddie flip down the stairs. Sure, like you do. I love this apartment or house, too. It's obviously not in the USA. It's such an interesting little compact design. Whoop. Just right under the chair. Just a little room here, little room there. You know. I really like the way the space has been divided up. I guess that's probably a dining room. Uh-huh. I think I saw another video from Nathan. I can't tell if it was him or not. Hang on, let me go look at his channel. A more recent one. No, it wasn't him. Oh, well. Are we going to be tiny whooping outdoors? This doesn't look like a tiny whoop to me. Who else is good? Evasion FPV. We got some good whoop videos. We'll watch one more. Evasion FPV. No. Flying my drone in Spirit Halloween. Cinematic FPV drone. Fail. Find me a good one. Flying my drone in the back rooms. Tiny whoop freestyle. All right. What do we got here? Show me what you got. Evasion. What are we doing? Oh, we're going to get some flying? Oh, I see. He's going to the back rooms. Oh, I see. We've got a little bit of a... There we go. Show me what you got. Woo! Nice flick. Wow, nice flick. Oh, we're flying in a mall. Okay. We've got some power loops here. Smooth. Oh, okay. It's a good location. Alrighty. Well, I think we're going with the Mobula 6 as a solid choice. Okay. Mobula 6. Can't go wrong. Connor Frazier, thank you for a $2 super chat. Connor, I'm just going to real quick check and see if you left a question. Oh, I see you left another $10 super chat. Connor Frazier. Connor asks, flight controller replacement on the JBQAS issues. Help. I replaced my flight controller after it stopped working, but now the beeper horizon and angle won't work. I have UART 3 on MSP, serial RX on UART 4, ARM on aux 1 in the modes. Connor, this is the kind of question that would be better to troubleshoot over email because it's going to require some back and forth. But I do appreciate the $10 super chat, so I'm going to take a little bit of the stream time and we'll talk about it. Is your receiver working at all would be the first question. Right? I mean, beeper, horizon, angle won't work because your receiver's not working. Maybe. Okay. So then the next question is, when you flip the switch on the controller, does the aux mode move in the receiver tab? That's the next question. Oh, it does look like we had a glitch with the stream, guys. Yep, I see that we had a glitch. Let's just keep going. Yes, it did. So the aux channel does move. So at that point, I can't imagine why like beeper horizon angle wouldn't work. The aux channel is moving. So then in the modes tab, you've got the mode set up. It should work, right? What are we missing, Connor? Like, I don't know why beeper might not work if you didn't have, let's see, let's think about this. The modes work for arm, disarm. So Connor, in the modes tab, you should see the mode turn yellow when it's activated and gray when it's not activated. Since the aux switch is moving, you should be able to choose your aux channel, whichever aux channel the switch is assigned to, and you should be able to see this little yellow tick mark move up and down, okay, when you flip those switches. That's a really good point, Jude King. Good point, Jude King. This is a long shot, but if you have enabled paralyze mode, can tell this happened to Jude King once upon a time, and he never forgot. If you have paralyzed mode enabled, it'll lock out everything else. Probably didn't. That's probably not it, but if it is, bonus points to Jude King for thinking of it. So you should be able to see this little yellow tick mark move when you flip the switch. And when it goes into the range where this yellow range is, the mode should become active. I don't see what we could be missing there. You're welcome to email me about that, Connor Fraser, jb@joshuabardwell.com. Not just because you super chatted, just because that's what I do. Anybody's welcome to email me, but you are also specifically welcome. And we could try to share some screenshots and figure it out. Terminal Insanity wants to know, can you use an Arduino as a programmer to recover a bricked ExpressLRS receiver? Yes. Yes, you can, Terminal Insanity. You need to just program the Arduino to act as an FTDI adapter, which there's a script out there for that. Cali FPV. Cali FPV asks, any 5-inch frame you recommend that can hold the O3 air unit and keep the props and frame out of view? What do you think of the Quad Mala F5? Let's look for the Quad Mala F5 and see what I think of it. Quad Mala Siren F5 mini freestyle frame. Zoom in, please. Enhance. Let's see. We got a single bottom deck. So it's not a split deck frame. Is it? No, it's a single bottom deck. That's fine. We got fancy aluminum standoffs, 7075. That's cute. The overall design of the frame is unremarkable. I don't mean that in a disparaging way. It's just a very sort of standard design. I like the way these cutouts are here on the top plate. I think that's saving a little bit of weight. It's aesthetic too. I like that there's a bit of a waistline here on the top plate that helps keep your battery strap from sliding around. Plenty of room for 2 battery straps. Plenty of room in the back for a larger video transmitter. I'm not sure what's going on here with these standoff screws or these stack screws. They look like they've got something weird, fancy going on. Another thing that I always look for with a frame is, do the stack screws go through the arms? Since we don't have, do we have a video? Related videos. Let's take a look, see if we can get a look at the actual parts of the frame. I want to see you build the frame. I don't care. I don't want to see. There's zero point in. I understand why people do it, but it's a pet peeve of mine. There is 0 point in showing flying in a frame release video. Like, I guess people want to see if there's props in view. But, like, if the quad flies good or the quad flies bad, that doesn't tell you really anything about the frame. But, okay, we're going to show a flight. We don't have... It doesn't look like we have assembly, though. And it doesn't look like... Can't really see how the arms go in. Murders FPV has a review of this frame. Sorry, again, I'm not trying to pick on anybody in specific. It's just I resent the fact that when I do a review of a frame, I have to put a flight video in because that's what everybody wants to see. But it doesn't tell you anything about the frame. It doesn't tell you anything. Oh, but what about frame resonance? Doesn't it tell you if there's good or bad frame resonance? No. If I have a frame with shitty frame resonance, and I just take the filters and I slide the filters all the way to the left, and then I don't tell you that I did it, it's going to look like it's going to sound like it flies smoothly. Yeah. So you can show how it flies. Yeah. I don't know. Anyway. Murders FPV. What's the name of this frame we're looking at? The Quad Mula. Siren F5. Here's old Murders FPV. What do we got here? Intro. Durability. So... Can I just see how the arms go in? Can I see how the arms go in? Maybe I should listen to him talking.
Absolutely lends itself to more rigidity and a lot more durability. Wider, especially where it matters, coming right into the frame there. Just look at the carbon up close and you'll see that the entire quad is made out of this style of carbon. This is a higher quality level of carbon that's actually made in a lattice formation, the way that everything is woven, all the layers. And this absolutely lends itself to more rigidity and a lot more durability, despite the fact that it has 5.5 millimeter arms and the Quad Mula frame has 5 millimeter arms. But if you look at the arms next to each other, you can see that not only are these arms wider, especially where it matters, coming right into the frame there. Just look at the carbon up close and you'll see that the entire quad is made out of this style of carbon. This is a higher quality level of carbon. Absolutely lends itself to less than what you see on something like an Apex. On most other frames, including the Apex, if you look at the way the carbon is laid out, it's laid out in a perpendicular parallel configuration, and that's just how it's woven all the way through, which sort of lends itself, I'm sure plenty of you probably also experienced this, but when it breaks perfectly right there in a nice straight line, and that's something that is a downside of having this style of carbon in your frames. In regards to the...
Okay, so I don't know anything about the carbon in that frame, but you cannot tell anything about the direction of the carbon fiber weave by looking at that surface layer. That surface layer is purely cosmetic. You could have unidirectional carbon fibers with that twill layer on the outside. They just do that because it looks nice. You literally can't tell. They could be randomized. They could be at 45 degrees. They could be at 90 degrees. The layers of the carbon fibers can be oriented however the designer of the sheet wants. The twill layer on the outside can give you a little bit of insight. Like if you know that the carbon fiber is 90-degree layers, so you got one layer going this way and one layer going that way of the individual carbon fibers inside the sheet, and they stack those up and they impregnate them with the resin and they make the carbon fiber sheet. Then the twill layer on the outside probably is going to be aligned with that. And so if you look at the direction of the twill pattern on the outside of the carbon fiber, you can see whether the piece was cut aligned up and down or at an angle. And that does affect the strength, okay? That can affect how it breaks. But what you don't know, just by looking at the twill pattern, is what the carbon fiber is on the inside. So there's layups where you'll have 45 degrees. So you'll have one piece, one layer of the carbon fiber where the fibers are this way, and then on the next one they're 45 degrees this way, 90 degrees, 45, and they'll go all the way around in a circle. At that point, it's less important how you cut it out of the sheet, because and it has different implications for stiffness versus strength versus rigidity. And now I'm way outside my area of specialty. But so many people look at the direction of the twill and then think they know the direction of the underlying fibers, and you can't just make that assumption. Now I don't know what's going on here. In this particular review, Murder FPV may specifically know about the direction of the fibers in this carbon. He may not be relying just on the direction of the twill pattern, but I just want to call
hardware
it out.
that's being used, all their standoffs are made out of 7075 aluminum, so it's a very lightweight, very durable aluminum that you're going to want to use in regards to any frame that you're looking at flying. They've done the same thing to Apex frames for whatever reason, damage it.
So I still can't figure out if how the arms go into the frame. Oh, we're getting somewhere. We got a stack damper. Okay, so we got built-in dampers on the stack. Hybrid screw assembly. Interesting. I really just want to see you assemble it. You have to assemble it. You have to assemble it, right? Did you do a review? Why is this frame so effing cool? Okay, so it's not just a straight review. But, like, how do you... I just want to see you... Okay, I'm done. I just want to see you assemble the frame so I can see how it goes together. That's as much attention as I feel like paying to that right now. Well, you asked, what do I think of that frame? Hopefully, I gave you some thoughts, and hopefully you were entertained, if not educated. Okay. Drone Daddy FPV. Drone Daddy FPV says, thanks for all your content. Couldn't have gotten this hobby without you. And thank you for a $15 donation. Orga, thank you for 25. I don't recognize that currency. Turning my Cinerat to a hovercraft. 2 motors facing back, 2 down. Is there a way in Betaflight to custom control the motors like rotation and channels? No, you would need a special mixer. So what most people do when they build a hovercraft is... Oh, I don't know about that. I think you would just need a servo. I don't think you need a flight controller, to be honest with you. You would have a separate... You would have the back-facing motors driven straight off the receiver from a PWM signal with the throttle. And then maybe like a potentiometer for the down-facing motors. And then a servo to... Yeah. Orga, I don't know if there... Unless Betaflight has a mixer for a hovercraft. I don't think it does. I don't think it does. I'm not 100% sure. Phoenix FPV, thank you for £2. What's your opinion on the Tango 2 Pro? The Tango 2 is a solid radio. It's an even better radio now that Pyrodrone has custom CNC gimbals for it to upgrade the gimbals if that's what you're into. Oh, J.R. Bosch, thank you. J.R. Bosch gives me a picture of the quad mula arm. We'll close that discussion out by showing that no, the quad mula arm does not require 2 screws to be removed. The stack screws to be removed. Which one of those is the stack screw though? J.R. Bosch, which one of those 2 is the stack screw? The outer or the inner? I hate removing stack screws. The inner is good. I do think that there's potential for this little nub to slip out. It doesn't seem super secure if that's what's holding the arm in, but... Getting back to the previous question, though, what's your opinion on the Tango 2 Pro? The biggest downside of the Tango 2 Pro is that it runs Freedom TX. And there's nothing inherently wrong with Freedom TX, but only TBS can give you updates to the firmware on that radio. And TBS has been super distracted recently. There was a big slowdown in firmware releases. Partially caused by the fact that I'm told, I haven't personally verified this, I'm told that 2 of their developers lived in Odessa, which is in Ukraine. So they were not, giving 100% to the company for obvious reasons. And then I saw on Facebook that they moved their building. They had some problems with their landlord. They had to move buildings. All of which is to say, they have been justifiably busy doing other things, and implementing new features in Freedom TX doesn't seem to have been where their attention has been. Now, if they had simply let the radio run OpenTX or EdgeTX, their users could have been flashing new firmware that has been coming out for those firmwares. But since they locked it down and only they can give you the firmware, their users are just kind of waiting. Also, if you decided that you wanted to run Immersion RC Ghost on a Tango, you couldn't, because TBS has removed that from the firmware and hasn't implemented it. At least they hadn't the last time I checked. Maybe they did in the last. I don't think so. And that's another case where TBS is doing that, I would guess, for competitive reasons. So I'm not saying that those are deal breaker reasons why you shouldn't get the radio, but I am saying it's a good radio. The upgraded gimbals are nice. There have been some problems with the gimbals going out of calibration due to the way they designed the sensors. I don't know that those issues have ever been solved, so you may end up recalibrating your gimbals more often than you might like, but it's not the end of the world. And a lot of people do love that radio. If you want to fly Crossfire, it's a solid choice. But for me, watching everybody else get firmware updates and get new features and not getting them would drive me crazy. Blizzard FPV, thanks for $2 Canadian. Been flying at minus 28C. Conformal code is life. Minus 28 is pretty cold. Your lipo's hanging in there? Matt, thank you for a $5 super chat. Would you be willing to put together a quality 5-inch O3 on quad part picker with a budget of $600 to $700? Would like to see your ideal build. Yeah, absolutely. But I'm not going to go to quad part picker. I have this. This is where I'm going to point you. Everything I'd change in 2022 about my perfect freestyle build. This is a quality quadcopter. Now, mine has a Vista in it. You can put an O3 in it. It's not a big deal. You can make that decision. The only thing I have to say is that currently the front end is being redesigned for the O3 camera. So as of today, that's not available. It should be soon. So currently, you will have props in view and have some difficulty getting the O3 camera to fit. But if you want a recommendation, that's like what I personally fly and love. We got a closer look here at this frame. Whoops, nope, wrong. Here we go. 1 bolt release, solid structure. How does it go together? Oh, interesting. So it's not just the screw that's holding it together. That's very clever. It slots in here to this curved piece, and the screw just basically passes through it. Interesting. That's clever. So it is a 1-screw arm change if the arm breaks. Fairly meaty here. Seems like it'd be pretty durable. That's a clever design. I'm impressed. Flyborg FPV, thank you for a $10 super chat. Did you see the portrait of you I painted by putting a paintbrush on my drone? By doing something new, I'm hoping this will help expand our hobby. Flyborg FPV, thanks for a $10 super chat. I don't remember seeing a portrait of me. I did see a submission to the news. I saw a submission to the news about drone painting.
Today, I'm going to be...
Let's see. That is not the right Flyborg. Where is Flyborg's YouTube channel? Let's see here. Shared with me. News. FPV News, December 13th. Is that it? No. I don't know if I'm going to be able to find it. December 20th. That's got to be the one. Oh, this is something completely different. Was this? Hang on. That's really cool, Flyborg. You painted this by putting a... I did not see this. You painted this by putting a paintbrush on a drone? Really? Are you for real? You painted this by putting a paintbrush on a drone. I don't know why you would do that. But that's pretty badass. That's pretty badass. Very cool. Flyborg, hang on. I'm going to see if I can find this. I can't find... I'm not going to be able to find... No, I can't find the thing I'm looking for, so I'm going to give up. I don't want to waste a bunch of time on the stream trying to find it. Oh, well. Thank you for that. That's very cool. Jorge A., thank you for a $5 super chat. Just set up ExpressLRS a couple of days ago thanks to your videos. Definitely learned something today. Thank you, RC Moore, for a $5 super chat. I have TX16S Crossfire module set at 500 milliwatts. On the radio, telemetry reads 25 milliwatts. Why? Do you have dynamic power turned on? That could be it. If you have dynamic power turned on, maybe it doesn't think you need more than 25. Ramiro Leon, thank you for a $5 super chat. I need help. I'm new to this, and I bought 3 stacks from Speedy, the 50 amp ones I bought it 5 months ago, and I still can't get it in the air. Ramiro Leon, that is definitely a situation where it would be better to email me, jb@joshuabardwell.com. There's just not enough info to help solve your problem. Still can't get it in the air, right? But definitely email me, jb@joshuabardwell.com. Tell me your situation. Tell me what gear you've got. And basically what I need to know is, where are you in the build process and where are you stuck? So we can get you to the next stop. Can the O3 unit be rooted for Betaflight OSD, asks King Axiom. King Axiom, the O3 unit cannot be rooted, but it supports Betaflight OSD natively, so it doesn't need to be rooted. Well, there's other things that root is good for, but yeah, it doesn't need to be rooted. Or it can't be rooted anyway, whether you think it needs to or not. Nick Boyer, we are almost caught up on Super Chats. I'm starting my first drone build. I already have the O3 Air unit and an Impulse RC Apex Mr. Steel lightweight frame. I have my eyes on the Newbie Drone Infinity AIO V2 Pro. What are your thoughts about it? I have extremely mixed feelings about this flight controller. So here's the pitch for this flight controller. The pitch for this flight controller is that if you build a good quality flight controller and ESC, and then you encase it in like thermal epoxy and you glue a heat sink onto it, it will be so much more durable than other flight controllers and ESCs. It'll be so durable that you won't mind paying $150 for it and taking the chance that if it blows a single FET on that ESC, you are out $150. That's the argument. Now, Newbie Drone actually says that in their research, they think that most blown flight controllers and ESCs are due to soldering mistakes by the user. That people get a solder ball or something on the unit, and it shorts it out. They think that if you fully encase it, you reinforce it, it'll be durable enough that it won't break. I don't buy it. And I don't specifically, like, dispute their claims, but everything breaks when you crash it into the ground at 70 miles an hour repeatedly. And that's what we do with our quads. Everything breaks. And this flight controller, as good as it might be, you break one thing on it and you're out $150. I generally don't like all-in-one flight controllers for this exact reason. But sometimes, with a very small quad, like a toothpick quad, or maybe a Cinewhoop, you need them to be that small, and it's worth the trade-off. But in that case, I wouldn't like to spend $150 on it, because it's going to break, and when it breaks, I'll have to replace it. Now this is the V2. They do have additional outputs. The V1 was missing a whole bunch of outputs, so at least you're not giving that up. It's a clever idea, but I'm just not a big fan of AIOs, because eventually they break, and when they break, you're shit out of luck. You lose all your money. I'm seeing people in the Discord. Ouch. Sunshine says in the Discord, I'm not the best at soldering, but after installing this exact newbie drone ESC, it flew for a month, then it blew a FET. Yep. Iric Toft says, I blew this ESC. I was running it in a race and it blew up. So even if it's a really durable flight controller and ESC, it's gonna blow up. They all blow up eventually. And when it does, you're out $150. And to me, that's not a good proposition. For a 5-inch. For a 5-inch, for sure. So that's what I would say about that. Thank you, Nick Boyer, for the donation. Division RC, thanks for a $2 superset. Sent you a DM, Timsy. Can you help me real quick? Sure. Timsy says, JB, can you help me with this whenever you can? OSD shows failsafe LQ DBM values, yet I have full control. Okay. Let's take a look at what Tim's got going on. Let's download these videos from Tim.
So I just updated this from 4.2 to 4.3, and I set everything up. The drone is connected, and I get telemetry. I could control it, or at least turn the buzzer on. I checked, and the OSD is saying it's not connected. LQ. No, DBM is just not wrong. I set the iFlight preset, and I set some things it didn't set. I'm confused here why it's showing this.
What receiver is it? What receiver? Hang on, let's watch this second video.
Here's more proof. Telemetry.
What receiver is it?
Alright, it's still showing the negative 130. It's still showing its failsafe,
okay.
Apparently, but I mean...
So, my guess is that you're using a receiver. Can I see his antenna in the video? Do we see his antenna at all?
So I just updated this from 4...
No, hang on. Go back. What antenna does he have? Is it a... I can't see his antenna. Tim, what antenna are you using? What receiver are you using? So my guess is that Tim is using a receiver that doesn't support RSSI DBM and LQ, like a FrSky RXSR or XM Plus. No, it can't be XM Plus because he has telemetry. It's an iFlight receiver. Is it ExpressLRS? Is it ExpressLRS? I think it's... I guess iFlight makes FrSky compatible receivers, probably. I'm not sure about that. Yeah, it worked for my first 2 flights before I updated Betaflight. Oh, okay. So if ExpressLRS definitely is capable of reporting RSSI, DBM, and LQ, all modern flight control protocols do. ExpressLRS, Crossfire, Tracer, Ghost, etc. That's the main ones. The older ones don't always report RSSI, DBM, or LQ. FrSky S Bus is an example of one like that. So then what settings could you have changed or not changed to cause this not to work? That's the question we're going to tackle. Here are the settings you should check, Tim. The first setting you should check is going to be in the receiver tab, and it's this setting. If you enable RSSI ADC, it will cause LQ and RSSI DBM not to work anymore. Make sure that's off. We'll wait for Tim to check that, and we'll see if that fixes it. And in the meantime, we'll take a couple more questions. Guess what? We're caught up on the super chats. Yay! It's time to talk to the plebs. Oh no, Tim answered me again. He says it is off. Shit. Oh, what's the other one? Oh yeah, the aux channel. Where's the aux channel? What about RSSI channel, Tim? Oh, you can't see it. Hold on. What about RSSI channel? Is it disabled? Those are the two things that could mess this up. RSSI ADC or RSSI channel. It's got to be one of those two. Please tell me RSSI channel is enabled. Hold on. Damn it. All right, I'm stumped. Drone Daddy FPV. You're not the only one with that name. Look, Drone Daddy. There's somebody else with your name, man. Don't freak out. Thank you for the donation. Look, Drone Daddy, here's the account. You can see it's a different user pick than you, but the exact same name. You're going to have to change your name. One of you is going to have to change your name. Phantom FPV, good to see you, my friend. Tim Z, I don't know what would cause that, Tim. Honestly. Those are the two things that can cause LQ and RSSI DBM to not work in my, as far as I know. Those are the only two. Other than that, it just works. What else could it be? I don't see anything else that could cause that not to work. Does chat? Anybody in the chat? I'm going to go back to the... Other than those two, what else could it be? Does anyone know? His receiver is working. That's the thing. His receiver is working. He has full control of the quad. Just the OSD is showing negative 130 for RSSI DBM, which means no value and no LQ. Eric Byers suggests deleting telemetry sensors. That won't affect... Telemetry sensors won't affect the functioning of the OSD. So that's a no on that one. He does not have an aux channel set up. That's a no. We checked that. Can he see RSSI LQ in the radio telemetry? That's fair. RSSI channel in the radio is not configured. All right, Tim. So Tim, what you could do is MSP. The OSD is working in the goggles. The OSD is working. Tim, the folks in the Discord are going to keep pinging you with questions while I take another question, and we'll check back on this. By the way, I would like to point out, if anybody is curious, I'd like to point out that for questions like this, my Discord server has a troubleshooting forum. Where people can ask questions and get helpful answers. So that's pretty cool. Just one of the benefits of being a patron. If you are interested in being a patron, you can go to this URL. I'll put it in the chat. You can join up. for as little as $2 a month. Or more if you feel like I've earned it. The amount is up to you. Whatever you think I've earned, that's how you do it. Just join up. And one of the benefits is you do get access to the Discord server, which is pretty cool. So, let's see here. He has not got the RSSI aux channel set. Cool Cat says you can access the Discord for a couple of bucks a month, and it's worth its weight in gold. Thank you for the kind words, Cool Cat. It's always nice to hear that people are getting value from it. Hang on one second. Okay, we're back. RC Moore wants to know, like Avada, how can I see what the goggles see on the DJI Fly app? RC Moore, the Goggles 2 and the O3 Air unit should be able to plug right into the DJI Fly app and see the feed, just like with the Avada. One IFPV, if Serial RX inverted was on, his whole receiver wouldn't work, right? So, Tim Z, yeah, so it's definitely a flight controller configuration. Tim Z, what if you default the flight controller? Go to the CLI, type defaults. It'll wipe the whole flight controller back to default so you can start from scratch. The LQ is not correct. It's not that the LQ is low. It's that it's like not there. It's just blank. And the DBM is minus 130, which is the value it shows when it's not getting the information. CBP asks, I just got a Nazgul Evoke V2 with the O3 Air unit, and I'm getting RSSI low flashing in the OSD. What's that mean? CBP, that means that your controller RSSI is low. The link between your controller and your receiver, not your goggles, but your controller and your receiver, is weak. What receiver do you have? What controller do you have would be the way to approach that question. If his telemetry was not working, then the flight controller couldn't read telemetry from the... Oh, that's interesting. It couldn't get that data. The ELRS telemetry ratio is between the radio and the controller, not between the receiver and the flight controller, so the ELRS telemetry ratio wouldn't affect that. Also, it worked before he updated to Betaflight 4.3.2. I think it's worth rolling back to 4.3.1, I guess. CBP, if you have the DJI controller, then you should be monitoring RSSI with the DJI goggles, which have a separate RSSI readout for the controller. So in the flight controller, you should not be using the RSSI readout at all, because that controller is not communicating RSSI to the flight controller, I don't think. So what I would do if you have the DJI controller and the O3 Air unit is go in Betaflight. Nope, this screen here, sorry. go in Betaflight. And go to the OSD tab and turn off the RSSI warning, okay? Right here, turn off the RSSI warning because it doesn't mean anything for you. And then just use the signal strength readout in the goggles that the DJI system is giving you to determine whether you're about to failsafe or not. Philly Style FPV, thanks for a $10 super chat. Philly Style wants me to check my email. Ooh, I wonder what it could be. Philly Style. Oh, here we go. Philip, thank you for a $10 super chat. I have 2 different Mobula 7 ExpressLRS whoops that have updated the firmware. Neither of them work now, and I can't get them to work on any version of Betaflight from 4.3.0 all the way up to 4.4. Each version I apply says no gyro found, or it says basically it's not finding. Oh, so Philip, the answer to this is that Happy Model has a custom build of Betaflight, and I think that that's what you're running into. Hang on. Not the manual. I want the product link. Not the race day quads. I want the Happy Model page. Athix says the ExpressLRS one has different gyros. That's why it's not working. Where can he download the firmware, though? Athix, where can he download the firmware? Let me see if it's here, if I've got the right page. No, I don't see it. Entries. I don't want blog entries. Products. Whoop drones. Mobula 7 HD0 1S 75mm. I don't want an article. I want a link to the dang product. Where can I download the firmware? Damn it. Flight controller. Crazy Bee F4SX 1280, but that doesn't work. Which flight controller is it? Good point, Athix. The X12 or the Diamond? It's so frustrating. I know I've seen this. Yeah, let's look under support. Well done. That sounds obvious. That's pretty obvious. Why didn't I think of that? Oh, bingo. Got it. This is what you need, Philip. Well done. Thank you for that. Hi, Philip. That quad needs a custom firmware that is only available from Happy Model. You can download it here. Okay, bingo. Problem solved. All right. Or you could just flash Betaflight 4.4 nightly build. Sure. Carl Madsen. Carl Madsen asks, can I replace a busted Caddx polar lens with one from an analog camera? Yeah, as long as it's an M12 lens with the right thread count, in other words, or the right size threads, then it might work. It depends on the focal length of the lens. You might not be able, you can screw the lens in, but you might not be able to focus it. Assuming that you can screw the lens in and focus it, it could work. Yep. The other question is, does the Polar have the UV filter on the lens or on the sensor? I don't know the answer to that. So cameras will have a UV filter, and it'll either be installed on the lens or the sensor. If it's installed on the lens, then when you replace the lens, you have to replace it with another lens that has a UV filter in it. I don't know the answer to that. Abra the Ham, thanks for a $5 super chat. Says, I miss when you used to stream late at night and let us listen to you answering emails. Do it again sometime. Maybe. I'm not up late at night answering emails. I usually answer them during the day these days, so yeah. Cyclimbo, good point. Cyclimbo points out that the lens may be intended for a larger or smaller sensor size, and you could get vignetting on the corners. That's a good point. Maximum Deadpool. Maximum Deadpool said, I just got into this hobby. I'm having trouble finding a goggle set. Do you know of a goggle that can accept analog and HD? There are relatively few choices. The DJI V2 goggle accepts analog and DJI HD. If you were to buy an analog goggle with HDMI input, you could then theoretically use the Walk Snail or the HD0 standalone receiver to feed signal into the HDMI input. The goggle would have a built-in analog module, and it would receive the digital signal from the HDMI input from the standalone receiver. Those are two ways to try to go about this. The upcoming HD0 goggle has built-in HD0 and can take an analog module. I guess those are the three choices. Lucio Vasquez, thanks for a $5 super chat. Hey, JB, I was wondering what would be a good KV for a 4S Shendrone Squirt I'm trying to build. Plus, I'm stuck on what budget stack I should buy. Can you help? So, let's go to my website, fpvknowitall.com. And we go to the Cinewhoop page. Now, let's see what motors we recommend. This is Ciati's preferred build. He recommends 2004 motor on 3000 kV for a Cinewhoop. That's his recommendation. So 3000 kV is what you're going to shoot for. And as far as a stack, he likes the T-Motor Mini F7. That's not the only good stack you could try. So if we go to the sub 250 page, there are suggestions there for, we gotta, why are these getting crossed out? It's because it's 404ing. Is there some logic? Eric, do you know? Has David implemented some code that automatically strike through the link when it 404s? Or is he doing that manually? In which case, why isn't he just removing the links? Eric is the developer for, and David is the web guy. Eric is watching the stream right now, is why I'm just shouting at him. Oh my god. Eric. Okay, here, he's watching now. Do you see how this is strike through? I don't know. My only question is, you wrote the code that detects whether stuff is in stock or out of stock. It looks like when a link is 404 on my website, it's getting strike through. Is it doing that automatically? Did you write code to make it do that automatically? Irik's freaking out because he thinks I found a bug sometimes I show his website and there's a bug and then he's like, there was a glitch on the live stream. No, I didn't think so. So that means that this has been manually struck through because it was 404ing. Why not just remove it? Why strike it through? Why not just remove it? I guess maybe it'll come back in stock. It's not coming back in stock. All right, that's confusing. Okay, anyway. So any of these other 20mm flight controllers could be good for a Cinewhoop. So that's my suggestion. We got to get that iFlight beast removed. The website is currently on an edit freeze because we are in the process of updating it. It is in the last stage of review before releasing. No. Here, I'll show you. It's going to look like this. So we're going to make it just a little neater. So we're going to... I told him, make it look like Wirecutter. So right now, we're not making any edits to the web page because those edits will get lost once this releases. But as soon as this releases, we're going to a bunch of edits and pulling this frickin'... I don't think they even make this iFlight Beast anymore. Like, it's barely available. Nope, 404. Yeah, so that's got to get pulled. Sorry about that. Rodrigo Mayra. So, JB, maybe you missed my reply. Oops, sorry. Can you talk about the O3 and the Caddx Vista camera cable length in a Chimera 7 Mark IV? I'm building both and I'm having trouble with placement of the modules and the camera length. Rodrigo, I can tell you that iFlight ships the Chimera 7 with a O3 in the back and a camera in the front. Have they purchased an extended cable? Have they purchased an extended cable? By the way, thank you for the 30 reais, I'm guessing. No. Extended camera cable. Where can we get an extended camera cable? Oh. Longer camera cable. So it seems like... here's what you should buy. So this is labeled as coaxial cable for Chimera 7 Pro. That's exactly what you're asking for, Rodrigo. I guess that's what you should use. I guess that's what they use, so I guess that's what you should use. It doesn't say anything about the actual length, but it says it's for the Chimera 7 Pro, so presumably it works. People asking about my favorite hot sauce. Oh, well, I'll take a second to talk hot sauce. I'm very happy to say my wife got me the Hot Ones Season 18 lineup for Christmas. And I did a flight last night. Was super excited to do it. Of course, Sean Evans wasn't there to ask me insightful questions and make me feel interesting. But I did the whole flight. Except they ship it with Da Bomb Evolution, not Da Bomb Beyond Insanity. I see that it's actually Beyond Insanity on the show. So maybe I should buy Beyond Insanity. The Bomb Evolution is a little bit less offensive than Evolution, than its Insanity. So let's see, what do we got here? The classic 1700 Scoville, basically not even a hot sauce. Nice flavor. It's nice. It's unremarkable. Nothing against it. Just like you could have it on some tortilla chips before your meal. It's that level. This pineapple cayenne, not very hot, 5500 Scoville, but the sweet fresh pineapple really pops. So I actually think it's really delicious. I absolutely could see it on salmon. Like anything that would be good with a good pineapple flavor and a little bit of heat, very nice. This one is probably the most interesting of the group. It's got a like a cocoa espresso after flavor, almost. That it's just a really nice, complex, interesting flavor. The Los Calientes, I wouldn't say I hated it, but it has a really strong taste of cumin. And personally, I like cumin in the right place, but I wasn't expecting to get just a kick in the back of the throat with cumin. And I think the cumin and the black pepper to me didn't really work for me. So I think this is probably my least favorite of the bunch. I'm still going to eat it, though. It felt to me like there was more than a hint of cumin. This one, a very sort of neutral hot sauce. What I mean is, like, when I eat it, I'm like, yeah, that's a tomato vinegar hot sauce. I'm not thinking like, oh, there's flavor here that I didn't expect. I like this. This is a good level of heat for me, where I'm definitely noticing the heat, but not like uncomfortable. Not like super uncomfortable. This is super novel. It's a bacon collard green hot sauce, but it's got ghost pepper, so it's definitely getting up there. It's interesting. I think it needs a good pairing. It needs a good pairing. It's not going to go with everything because of the collard flavor, but very interesting. Let's see. This one, we're getting up in the, oh, that's hot, where the heat starts to overwhelm the flavor for me. I'm not going to have as many, like, tasting notes for the next ones, because they were so hot, I was like, yep, that's hot sauce. This is about the hottest I like to go and still feel like I'm eating food instead of just punishing myself. Oh, shit. Hang on. Elmo Hawk says that's the wrong link cable. I'm sorry. Whoops. This cable is for the V2, not the 03. Shit. My bad. Thank you for that correction. Jesus. Nope, nobody has an extended... Okay. I want the 03, though. No, it doesn't. So, RunCam. Does RunCam have a cable? Well, that's not... No. That's 404ing. I don't know. It exists somewhere. I don't know where you could get it. Sorry for the wrong answer. The Bomb Evolution, I was expecting more because it's got such a reputation. But this is the Bomb Evolution because Hedonist doesn't carry extracts. They only sell all natural sauces. It is just as hot, they say, as the original, but it's not an extract, so it doesn't just kick you in the face and make you wish you weren't alive. And then these last two, I have nothing to say about the flavor. It's just, they're just hot and make you suffer. Maybe if I got a little more used to them, I'd appreciate the flavor. So I think if you are looking for a new hot sauce to try, I would say try this one. It's got a very interesting, novel flavor with a really complex aftertaste. The cocoa powder, you know, it's just got a little bit of everything. Even though it's not super, super hot, it's a very interesting sauce, and I was glad to have tried it. All right. I don't know. I didn't suffer as much as I thought I would. Maybe I didn't. I mean, I thought I sauced them pretty generously, but maybe I didn't sauce them as much as they do on hot ones. And I am not the kind of person who just eats ghost peppers for fun. I thought I have to try again. Maybe go a little slower. I don't know. Okay. Squirrely, thank you for a $2 super chat. Philly Style says that firmware worked. And Mike S., thank you for a $20 super chat. Race Day Quads has an 03 coaxial cable made by Flyfish. We're going to get this. Choose length. Bam! Okay. The chat comes through. There it is. This is the 03 coaxial cable that you want in lengths of 100, 150, and 200 millimeters for the question by Rodrigo Meira. Rodrigo, here is the product you actually want. Thank you, chat. They saved me from giving the wrong answer. I did give the wrong answer. Mateus wants to know. The Foxier Reaper AIO V3 F7 45 amp, is it a good ProTech 35 replacement? So I don't know anything about that specific flight controller. In general, Foxier Reaper usually is good quality electronics. So that's what I would say about that. Going back to the topic of hot sauces, I think I want to do a hot sauce live stream. Obviously not tonight. Tonight's almost over. I think that next Sunday, this coming Sunday, what day is that going to be? Is that going to be New Year's? Ooh, we could do a New Year's hot sauce live stream. That's fun. That's fun. What if we did a... that would be really fun. What if we did Saturday night, or maybe Saturday afternoon, so I can not be, I can come out with my family and stuff. What if Saturday we did? Well, I'm not sure whether I'll schedule it for Saturday or Sunday. Maybe we'll do it New Year's Day. Maybe I'll do it during my normal time slot. We'll do a hot sauce live stream. I'll bring out the hot one sauces, and you guys can I don't know. Again, it's not the same without Sean Evans. Anybody got Sean Evans? Anybody got contact for him? He's got better things to do than talk to me. But maybe we'll do that this Sunday. Maximum Deadpool. You haven't heard anything about the HD0 goggles because, as far as I know, no one's got them. No one's got them. I don't have them. They haven't shipped them. Have they? Has anybody... I've seen a couple of testers that have been putting out videos. As far as I know, they haven't shipped. I talk to Ryan Quellet regularly. And so I will be getting a set of the goggles to review. They are not... they did not offer me a free review set. I would have accepted a free review set. My journalistic integrity, such as it is I would absolutely accept a free set of $600 goggles and try to navigate the complex ethical waters of maintaining my journalistic integrity while still receiving a $600 set of review goggles instead of having to buy it myself. I feel like I could rise to that challenge. But for whatever reason, they offered a discounted set, and I was like, yeah, I'll just buy them. So they are going to send me a set when they have one to send, and I'm going to pay them for it. But all of which is to say that I will be getting them directly from Carl or Ryan, and have not. So I don't know. That's the only update I have about that. By the way, that I don't. That's fine. That's absolutely fine. I wouldn't want anyone to hear that little conversation and think that I was in any way like being cynical or rueful or anything. I have absolutely no problem paying for gear. I don't in any way, like, I don't want to, I'm not like, it would be really super entitled of me to go, how dare you not send me a set for free? Do you know who I am? That's not who I am. That's not who I want to be. So, usually I'll just say, are you planning on sending a set, or do I need to buy one? And it's a complete coin toss from my perspective, when I talk to a vendor about that. And if they say, yeah, we're sending it, it's fine. Cool. I mean, I'm happy to not have to spend $600 of my own money. But I don't, it has to be fine either way. Otherwise, if they say, no, I'm not sending you a review set, you have to buy it, and I have even the tiniest emotional reaction where I'm like, oh, yeah, fine, I guess I'll buy it. That's the ethical line that I cannot cross. So I have to make sure that nowhere in my heart and mind do I have an expectation that I'm going to get it for free. And because I can do that, it's okay if I accept it, because it would have been fine either way. At least that's what I tell myself. Kevin Kaminsky says, I got my shipping. By the way, thank you, Kevin, for a $5 super chat. I got my shipping notification for the HD0 goggles on Friday last week. At least one person has the goggles in hand right now. I mean, that would be amazing. That would mean, hopefully, that I'm going to get mine soon. I can't wait to get them. I have a 2450 kV motor. Is it good with a 35 amp ESC? Asks Abhinav Chandran. It's impossible to answer that question because you didn't tell me what size prop you're using. And without knowing the prop, it's impossible to know. And you didn't tell me what your battery voltage is. So in order to answer that question, we need battery voltage, we need prop size. But probably it's a 5-inch prop on a 4S battery, and in that case, you're fine. Athix points out that Nick Burns has them. Yeah, I know some of their early reviewers have them. I've seen a couple people talking about them. I don't have them yet. It is what it is. I mean, yeah, 4S 5-inch. If you're doing 6S 5-inch, 35 amps probably isn't okay. Nihad Deshmukh asks, can we change the recording angle on the O3? Yes, you can tilt it up and down. But if you have the Nosgol Evoke F6X, you will have props in view. You need the F6D. You need the F6D. Which is the dead cat style. That'll get the props out of view. What's the best HD system for whoops? HD0, no question. Well, the Walksnail 1S VTX might might change that equation. It's too soon to say. But probably HD0. People are confused. Why did I say that it would that the 35 amp ESC would be bad for 6S? Because isn't higher voltage less current? Yes, but here's the thing. It's the voltage spikes that I would actually worry about, and the voltage spikes are going to be much higher on 6S. You're going to get stronger. You're going to get, because it's a 2450 kV motor, your torque to current relationship is going to be worse. The higher kV motor will draw more current to make the same amount of torque. And okay, forget the theory. I think that you need a more robust ESC to run 6S 2450 kV than to run 4S 2450 kV. Damn the numbers, damn the math. You need a beefier ESC because you're going to be spinning the motors faster. You're going to have more back EMF. You're going to have more noise and just more chance of blowing an ESC. I would want a higher amperage ESC because it's going to be beefier. That's what I would say. All right. Guess what? Guess what? It is 10 o'clock and it's the end of the stream. I haven't seen Ciati. Is he streaming tonight? Oh, I did. Thank you, RC Addict. I missed a super chat. Wow. I appreciate you pointing that out, RC Addict. Munir Bakhsh, thank you for a $10 super chat. I am building a large drone with T-Motor U15XL 38 kV and ESC Thunder 300 amp 24S. What F-Flight controller do you recommend? Munir, it kind of doesn't matter. There isn't a flight controller that can natively handle, what did you say it was? 24S. So you're going to be running the flight controller off of a regulator, and you can pick whatever flight controller suits you. The only thing I would say is with a large drone, are you running Betaflight or whatever, or are you going to be running like Pixhawk? So, like, probably the flight controller I actually recommend is the Pixhawk Cube. Pixhawk Cube is they're like $500 a piece. But I mean, you're building a hell of a big drone with enormous, like, let's see, T-Motor U15XL KV38. How much is this motor? Which motor is this? U15XL KV38. ESC. No, I don't need an ESC. Oh, do I have to buy the ESC with it? Okay. Add to cart. How much is that going to be? I just want add to cart. Add to cart! F you. But add to cart. Add to cart. Oh, I added to cart. So this is, your motors are $5,497, the motor and the ESC. So you're going to have $25,000 worth of motors on this quadcopter, assuming it's a quadcopter. At that point, you definitely should spend $500 on a Pixhawk Cube. Okay? That's the only flight controller you should even think about using. Whatever you're trying to do, you don't need a $50 Betaflight flight controller on that quad. Okay? All right. $54.97 for one. Pixhawk Cube. Is there, tell me in the chat, is there any other flight controller that is even worth thinking about at that price range? Brandon RC agrees. Pixhawk Cube is the only option. Munir, how many motors is that quad going to have? Is it an octo? Yeah. There are other options than the Cube, but they're all Pixhawk based. Yeah. Yeah, Pixhawk can do redundant everything. Like, you could probably buy... The Pixhawk Cube has, like, triple redundant gyros, redundant everything. Yeah. Okay. We are caught up. Yes, 4 motors. Jeez. I would want some redundancy on whatever you're building. It's a hell of a setup. $25,000 in motor alone. Thank you for the $10 super chat. Hope my advice was helpful. That is going to do it, folks. We are going to wrap up tonight. Thank you so much. I will see you tomorrow for the news with Blenty. And then I will see you on... keep an eye on my channel. It probably will end up just being the normal Sunday stream, I'm guessing. Because that seems like what I would do. But we'll do some hot sauce. We'll eat some hot wings, and you'll get to make me suffer. So, see you guys there. Good night, everybody.